Okay, I'm got out again today. I'm out and about, and I'm in Kimmeridge, which is in Dorset, and more specifically, I'm at Kimmeridge Bay. And I just showed you a quick view there. It's a gorgeous place, and it's one of those locations where I've never been here before, where you sort of look and think, oh, there's shots everywhere again. There's another one of those. There's compositions everywhere. At the moment, up there, you can see it through the sun. If you can see that through the sun, that's Cavell Tower, and that looks like it could be quite interesting for a sunset shot, for something in the background. So, and we're surrounded by hills here as well. It's very hilly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb that hill up there. And whether you can see those steps over there. Just there. So I'm going to climb the hill over there and up to the top and see what's at the top there. So we're at the top. That's the tower, and I'm out of breath. And it's not that high. You don't have to climb a long way, but there's steep steps, and they're really rickety. And there's like a handrail, but it's all broken. So you have to be extremely careful coming up. And but the view is well worthwhile. Let's see if I can show you the view. There we are. So we're actually on the Jurassic coast here. It's the Dorset coast, but it's also known as the Jurassic coast, and it goes right the way round, further around the bay that way. There's some classic shots that you find online, the same as there is that way. The whole coastline is very, very pretty coastline. Looking for compositions, I'm not sure if I can find one that isn't really a kind of picture postcard sort of shot up here, without getting too close to the edge here. And there are lots of warnings about keeping away from the edge here, because the rock coastal erosion is quite bad along here, and I don't want to end up down that hill, should we say down that cliff. Right, okay, I've had a scout around. I can't really find much in the way of locations up here that's, you know, not either a picture postcard or is obscured by something else. So I think what I'm going to do is go back down to the beach and have a look around the beach for some locations. Now the tide is I think is about 2 o'clock, which is high tide. I'm looking, it looks about high tide. So from here it gives me a good view of what the tide is going to be like at high tide and low tide, because I don't really want to get cut off if I go down on the beach. So if this is high tide, which I think it is, then we should have a good 2 or 3 hours down on the beach. Now low tide is 9 o'clock, I believe, or 9:30, I think. And sunset's about 6:30, 7 o'clock, something around about there. So the tide would have been going out for 2.5 hours. So we should be able to get some reasonable shots, and it should give nice wet rocks to shoot on. Okay, I am dying to get a shot in the bag, a first shot. We're not at sunset yet, but the sun is getting down in the sky, and I thought I'd come along and get a shot here. We've got the tower up here as the background interest. We've got the sea in the mid, and foreground interest is this rock here, which looks lovely with the water running over it. So What I decided to do, I'm at 16mm with a 16-35 lens on. I've got the polarizer on, and I've got a 10 stop on because there's lots of light in the sky to bring the light down. I'm at f10 because we've got some foreground interest, and ISO 100 because we've got a ton of light in the sky, so then we don't need to go any higher than that. And I'm shooting at 1 second, so let's take the shot and see what we get. Oh, I've locked the mirror up as well, and I've also done a bracket. We've got somebody behind us doing a workshop. I don't know, he was exactly that friendly towards me. I was getting my shot and he was sort of like in the background. I keep hearing bits of these rocks coming down above me, so I'm trying to keep away from the edge because keep hearing I think any minute now a big boulder's going to come down. I don't know. Anyway, that's my first shot in the back. I guess I best not go past that sign then. I don't want to be target practice. That's random, isn't it? Get to the end of the beach and it says don't pass this sign, there's a firing range. Okay, you see why they call it the Jurassic Coast? It's like these rocks and sort of all manner of things like these. So you don't think that's, I think that's possibly a lump of wood. Okay, I decided to get another shot in before we come towards sunset, and it's of these rocks. There's this crazy pattern in these rocks. I don't know if you can see it. I think I said earlier on about it, and I thought I've got to get a shot of them. So what I've done is I've set the camera up here. Let me show you. So it's on the edge of the rocks. So we've got some foreground interest with the rocks. So we've got the foreground interest with the rocks, and the obviously the midground is the sea, and then the background being the tower and the cliff. Over there, the other side of the bay. So ISO 100 because we've still got plenty of light. And what have we got? A 40th of a second? A 40th of a second? Yeah, that's a shot at a 40th of a second. Because I'm not too worried about being a slow image. It's only very gentle waves, so it shouldn't look too bad. I'm not trying to sort of just make the waves look, exaggerate the movement in the waves. That's not what I'm trying to do. And at f10 because that should keep everything sharp as well. People have asked me about my focus points. I mean, I'm focusing, let me see if I can point to a focus point. I'm focusing about there on the rocks. I heard you get all these calculations that you can do for focus points and that, but I've found with a wide angled lens it's very forgiving. So the part that you want to remain in focus mainly is your foreground. If you get the foreground in focus, the background seems to stay in focus. There are exceptions to that rule, but that works for me most of the time. I've shot it as a panorama. I've also shot it bracketed. I might not use the brackets and I might not use the panorama. I'm not sure yet. I'm in two minds, but that's why I've shot it that way. So we shall see how that comes out. Right, so we've got a bit of colour appearing in the sky. I'm probably a silhouette now because it's actually, the sun's going down quite faster than I expected actually. So I was around here, I was getting some drone footage and getting my pictures off the rock around here, but that's not exactly where I wanted to be. I wanted to be around the other side, so I'm heading around there now. Right, okay, I've got the camera set up now for another image. This is my third image of the day. And it doesn't look like we're going to get much of a sunset. We've got a kind of, see if I might be able to show you, a sort of muzzy looking sunset over there. Again, the clouds have come up over. But what we have got is quite a nice bit of light this way. You can't see it, see if I can get the exposure change. You can't see it so well in this camera, but you can see it better in the big camera. So what I've done is I've got the camera down low, and I've got these lovely rocks here as a foreground interest. They're like shiny. And a long exposure. And with the tower in the background, The tower seems to be featuring in most of my images today because I don't know, I quite like that tower, and it was quite an energetic exercise climbing up to the top up there, so I feel it's got to give me something back now. Okay, so this is likely to be the last shot of the day. We're starting to lose the light a bit now, although it doesn't look like it on this camera. So I've been moving about on these rocks and getting a few different shots. And every now and again we get a big wave coming and nearly wipe my camera out, but it doesn't quite. So I'm on my way back to the car. I am cream crackered, but I've had a great time. I think I've been here 6-7 hours, something like that. And the tide has really gone out about 2 meters, 3 meters at the most. It's hardly gone out at all. So it's obviously not very tidal here, and there's certainly no sand, but there's still people swimming. Amazingly, people swimming. So right, onwards and upwards. I spotted this little waterfall here. It's not much, but you could probably get, excuse me, you could probably get a shot from it, but I'll save that for another day. There's a few locations. Where the guy was doing the workshop was on like a plateau, and I think you could probably get a good shot from there, but he nicked it, and I don't want to sort of jump in. He's got people probably just paying good money to for him to help him out. So yeah, right, I'm nearly back at the car. I had a fantastic. I think I've been down on the beach about 6 hours, more than I ever even went down on the beach as a kid. It's amazing. I've just really enjoyed myself. I've had the drone up. It's the first time I don't get drone up for a while because some locations you can't put the drone up. So, but here it's fine, and I've just really enjoyed it. I think I already said that. I've really enjoyed it. A little bit out of breath after coming up the hill. If you enjoy what you've seen, like and subscribe. I've got some fantastic stuff coming. Hit the bell up here, and I'll let you know. And I'll say goodbye for now. See ya.